This is the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
From 98.1 CHFI Studios in Toronto, Canada.
Hey Toronto, this is Ed Sheeran.
This is Kelly Clarkson.
Hi, this is Bryan Adams.
This is Adele.
This is Madonna.
It's Michael Bublé, and you're listening to the Pooja and Gurdeep Show. It's fun. They're amazing.
Marry me, say yes. Marry me, say yes.
Okay, we're going to need an updated version of that song. Divorce me. Divorce me. J-Lo and Ben Affleck splitting. She filed divorce papers. You've probably heard about this or seen it on your social media feed. This is marriage number 4 for her, and Ben's second.
Yeah, and look, this was supposed to be the perfect love story. They
Was
came
it?
together. I mean, in my mind, yes.
Isn't every love story the perfect love story in your mind?
I love love.
You're an idealist.
And they met 20 years ago, almost to the day, I think, was when they were like on a film together, Gigli, right? That was
classic film, one of the great pieces of
that was
American
2002.
cinematic history.
And then 20 years later, they rekindled their love. And apparently there was always something there. And maybe they thought things were going to be different, which is, I think, a lot of people can relate to when you've broken up and you get back together with someone. We all make that mistake because you think something changed and then nothing
If I met J-Lo 20 years ago, too, I'd always feel like there's always something there, too. She's J-Lo. She's gorgeous. I get it. But past behavior is the greatest indicator of future outcome.
Thank you, Dr. Phil.
And I mean, is anyone surprised?
He used to say that all the time.
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
A lot of people say it because it's true. Okay, I'm a numbers guy. You love love. I just want to break some of this down by the numbers because my mind immediately goes to like, okay, well, what about the money? Okay, so this has shocked me. They didn't have a prenup.
They didn't?
They did not have a prenup. J-Lo's worth approximately, according to the internet, about $400 million. Ben Affleck about $150 million. Now, I think legally, from what I read, anything that they earned in the last 2 years is considered community property. So they'll keep whatever they came in with, but whatever they earned in the last 2 years is community. I just went to look at what J-Lo's been up to the last 2 years. It hasn't been a lot of good stuff.
No.
So the money she made from Marry Me, Shotgun Wedding, some movie called The Mother, some movie called Atlas, and The Greatest Love Story Never Told. I've never heard of any of these other than Marry Me, which was terrible.
Ben had to go to all the openings, and he didn't want to be there.
No.
Promise you that.
And then she also had her canceled U.S. tour, so I don't think that pulled in a lot of money either. So I think she might be okay.
And was caught just last month on a KLM flight. This was from Naples to Paris during Fashion Week, sitting in economy.
Oh.
Sitting in economy. If we didn't know it was over, if we needed any other indication, that was it.
Was this all calculated so that she knew the divorce was coming? So it's like, look, I have nothing. I'm flying economy. Like, you have nothing to take from me.
Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if she finds love again and she gets married again. And I'm not going to even knock her for it because I feel like she's got like Elizabeth Taylor vibes. Elizabeth Taylor was married 8 times. I feel like if you love as much as I do, you're a hopeless romantic and, you're always open to falling in love again.
Okay, let's be optimistic. You're right. She's only halfway to Elizabeth Taylor. Ben's worth $150 million. So, you know what? He's going to manage just fine, even if he gets nothing from this prenup. Good luck.
Maybe they'll get back together.
Probably.
Getting back together.
From CHFI Studios,
It's the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
I love ChatGPT, this AI platform. I'm sure you've heard of it by now. It's become very pervasive. There's a trend going around right now called Roast My Instagram. So if you're not familiar with ChatGPT, it's pretty intuitive. So what you can do is you screenshot your Instagram page or whatever social media platform you're on. You can upload that to ChatGPT. And the trend is asking ChatGPT to, quote, roast my Instagram. In other words, just make fun of you, eviscerate you.
And why are we doing this to ourselves on a Friday?
Self-deprecation.
Okay. All right. So we went ahead and uploaded both of our profiles to ChatGPT. Gurdeep, are you ready?
I'm ready. And by the way, if you guys are not, to really appreciate this, I think you got to go to our pages just to quickly see what it's roasting. So you're going to do me now. My page is at Gurdeep A.
Okay.
Go to my page and follow along while Pooj reads this because it's kind of spot on. We're going to do yours in the next segment.
Okay. Are you ready for this?
I don't know. Do I need to sit down, stand up?
Please sit down.
Okay.
And remember, it's ChatGPT. It's not me. I'm just the messenger.
Is it bad, eh? Okay, all right.
Okay. Here we go. It is a roast.
I'm going to look at my Instagram while you do this.
Okay. Your Instagram feed is a masterclass in trying to look effortlessly cool while screaming, please, someone validate me. You've got the shirtless beach selfies like you're auditioning for a reality show.
Ooh.
And then there are the forced deep thoughts that are as shallow as the kiddie pool.
Oh, they don't like my deep thoughts.
The homemade oat milk and protein shakes. We get it. You're into wellness, but the vibe screams more influencer wannabe than genuine health guru.
That's fair.
And those constant smirking selfies, it's like you're trying to convince yourself you're more interesting than you actually are. Maybe stop trying so hard to be everything and just be something real for a change.
Oh. Damn. Fire. We need some horns on that one.
ChatGPT, you so mean.
Some of that was very cut very deeply, and some of that was ridiculously accurate.
Okay. Just so you know, Gurdeep is now slowly moving into the fetal position and rocking himself, just to make himself feel better about what was just said. I think this is going to be me in a few minutes.
Yeah. We are going to roast at Pooja Honda TV next. Stick around for that. If you've got a thought on the roast my Instagram, you can drop us a text at 981-981.
The Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
From 98.1 CHFI.
The current trend on social media is roast my Instagram. This is where you upload pictures of your Instagram feed to ChatGPT. That's one of the new features. And you ask it to roast your Instagram. I'm still recovering. I'm a wounded animal in the corner right now.
Just so you know, I don't agree with any of the things that ChatGPT thought about you and your profile.
Really? I agree with about half of it.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, like what am I, fake wellness? Like, no, come on, don't listen to me. I've got no real advice. Okay, so now we've uploaded your photos to Instagram, and I encourage you to follow along. Go to @Pooja Honda TV. Have a look at Pooja's Instagram while I'm reading this to you. And again, these aren't my words. It's ChatGPT's words.
Okay.
You ready for this? Hey, Pooja, your Instagram page is the perfect storm of I want to be relatable and I'm trying way too hard. Every post screams, look at how chaotic my life is. But let's be real. No one's buying that you're actually struggling when you're posing by the pool in designer clothes.
What?
Wow. The kids are cute, but we all know they're just tiny props for your meticulously curated feed.
No.
And those good vibes posts, they're about as authentic as your perfectly staged morning coffee shots. It's like you're desperate to convince the world that you're effortlessly juggling everything, but it's obvious you're just juggling your ego.
Wow.
Just me, or Pooja's was meaner than mine?
That hurt.
I think Pooja's was way meaner than yours.
That hurt. My children as props.
Guys, I feel a lot better all of a sudden.
The Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
This is the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
Not many people who can say they went to high school with a legend. I mean, anyone who went to high school with you can say that.
Well, yeah, thank you for saying that. Now, nobody remembers me from high school. I promise you
I doubt
that.
it. I doubt
Who
it.
did you go to high school with?
There's a Pooja shrine in your high school.
No.
And in my living room. Joey Votto. Joey Votto has retired from Major League Baseball. Baseball legend, 17 years. He's from Etobicoke. If you're not a baseball fan, this guy won the National League MVP, signed a $225 million contract. He's regarded by people who know more about baseball than me as the second or third greatest Canadian baseball player ever.
Okay.
And he's from Etobicoke. We went to Richview Collegiate Institute together.
And so forever now, anytime you tell people what school you went to, they're like, oh, Joey Votto. And you're like, yeah, and other people too.
Well, it goes Joey Votto and then Stephen Harper.
And then
That
Gurdeep Alawal.
second one's a little more divisive.
Yeah.
So we were the same size in grade 9, like both 5'8". The only thing is I stayed that size till now. I'm still waiting on that second spurt. Joey has become this strapping 6'2", like he just looks like an athlete. We hung out a little bit early days of high school, and he was quieter. He didn't sort of party. He did his own thing because he was a serious baseball player. And by OAC, everyone just kind of started to hear like, oh, this guy's really good. Like, can he make it? But people from Canada generally don't make Major League Baseball. You're good for Canada usually. The Yankees sent scouts up to our high school, and they paid our high school pitching staff $50 each. So, like, just throw meatballs to this guy, like easy pitches.
Okay.
Just for him
Not
to...
actual meatballs?
Not actual meatballs.
Okay.
No.
That would be
wouldn't
weird.
be very productive.
I was going to say, even I can hit those fast.
I would just be eating them. They just heard there's this Canadian kid with a sweet swing hitting 300-foot home runs in high school. So they had to see him. They watch him hit, and they told him, we may draft you in the second or third round. keep your cell phone on you. And he's like, I don't have a cell phone.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
it's 2002, right?
It's early
Not everyone.
days.
It was the time where some people in class had a cell phone, some didn't. And if it rang, you were in trouble in class.
That's when you had pagers, and then you would text hello to your
yeah,
friends.
exactly.
Yes.
So he's in OAC drama class and his phone rings. And normally that gets you in trouble, but I think everyone knew the MLB draft is today that he could be getting a call. The teacher allowed him to step out and take
Oh
it.
my goodness.
He's a quiet guy, was very humble and all that. So he came back into class, didn't say anything. We find out the Toronto Star did an article a few days later, and the headline on the back page was Joey Votto is Toronto's newest millionaire. So he got drafted in the second round, 44th overall by the Cincinnati Reds. He had a full baseball scholarship to USC. They basically paid him $1 million to forego his education and scholarship to come play minor league baseball with Cincinnati down in Florida. We all come back for convocation. He shows up in September, and they're announcing like, oh, Gurdeep Ahluwalia studying like commerce at McMaster and blah, blah, blah. They get through the alphabet. He's Votto towards the end. And they go, and Joey Votto playing professional baseball for the Cincinnati Reds. The whole auditorium's like, oh my God. Coolest mic drop ever. He goes on to, win MVP in 2010, signs a $225 million contract. There's a massive shrine to him in our high school. I've ran into him a bunch of times since then.
He remembers you?
Yeah, still an awesome guy. We've met at a couple of galas in the off season. He's in, charity ball and all that. He comes to that motion ball. And now he's retiring at age 41. I'm like, how did you do this for this long? Everything hurts for me when I wake up.
You think he's going to show up to the 25-year reunion and be like, I'm Joey Votto. That's my shrine.
I sure hope so.
From CHFI Studios,
It's the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
It's cold up in Golden Knobs. It has the juice. I got a more beautiful thing. It's cold.
Yeah, it's corn. It's buttered corn day. Have you guys been to the CNE yet? I actually don't think they have. I could be wrong. I don't think they actually have just basic buttered corn because all their food's so crazy. They do have something called unicorn.
Oh.
Which is like unicorn-colored corn.
Oh, that actually
It's very Instagrammable.
Yeah, maybe not delicious, maybe not tasting great, but will look great.
Yeah, I think our friend Rick Campanelli tried it, and he said he liked it. Although he said he liked everything he tried. So I don't know if he was just being polite or not. But.
Well, every year they have some new food concoctions, and they're usually pretty outrageous. Is there anything that stood out to you?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to host the CNE opening ceremony a week ago today, so I got a look at it was very early, so I'm like, I can't eat this at 9 a.m. I will go back and try it. But there's I thought of you because you love donuts.
Yeah.
There's a 15-inch donut.
Oh, yes, I saw a picture of this.
15-inch donut.
It's huge.
Could you crush that?
It's just a massive donut. Is there a reason why it's like? Do you get a
reason,
prize?
Is there a reason for any of this? We're living in the age of excess.
I just assume there's something inside, like a prize or something.
No, just your feelings.
Okay.
It's filled with your feelings. There's a in the why is it so big category, there's also a giant samosa. There's a 12-inch samosa.
Yes. Okay.
Yep. That's
just good. Like it's like crust. The crust of a samosa is the best part. So if
Right.
you got a giant one.
I guess. There's a lot of filling in there, though, too. And finally, there is a butter chicken corn dog, just the way my ancestors intended.
thanks for listening to the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
Listen to Pooja and Gurdeep live weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Only on 98.1 CHFI.
Toronto's perfect music mix.